We begin with some overnight news. Things should be back to normal now on I-25 near the St. Francis interchange in Santa Fe. This after a wrong-way driver triggered a three-car collision. Police suspect alcohol is involved here. The crash happened around 8 o'clock last night. According to the New Mexican, the wrong-way driver had to be extradited from his vehicle. 4 other people were taken to the hospital, 1 in critical and 1 in serious condition. I-25 was closed at St. Francis Drive. Northbound traffic was diverted in Old Pecos while officers investigated. The DWI vehicle forfeiture law in Albuquerque is now being challenged in a class action lawsuit.
The city is seizing vehicles from owners who are in many cases innocent. They haven't been convicted, even arrested, or they weren't even driving the vehicles that were seized.
Justine Fox Young filed the suit on behalf of 7 people who all say they had to pay to get their cars back after somebody else drove drunk in their car without their knowledge. Now, the lawsuit claims the city ordinance violates innocent owners of the vehicles. City attorneys say the law doesn't let innocent owners get their cars back, but says that some aren't as innocent as they claim.
People have a duty to exercise some management over their property and make sure that somebody else that may perhaps be impaired is not using your car.
Albuquerque seizes vehicles from convicted drunk drivers busted for DWI again, or people who are caught driving on a revoked license.
Well, police and firefighters are still keeping an eye on a historic building in downtown Albuquerque after it went up in flames yesterday. It's a place where so many young dancers learn to let their feet fly. Unfortunately, now it's just a smoking pile of rubble.
There goes part of history.
Yeah, Gold Street near 2nd Street is still closed this morning. This is what it looks like after that building that had been home to the National Institute of Flamenco for 15 years caught in a huge fire yesterday. Crowds gathered to watch the flames. It started about 4:30 in the afternoon. Firefighters rushed over there within minutes. There was really no use. The building was already burning very, very badly, so crews went defensive to keep that fire from spreading. They did a very good job with that. The Institute's director and about 10 other people were inside when the fire started. However, they did get out okay.
By the time we just stepped outside and looked, the roof was on fire, quite advanced fire, so it probably had been burning for a little while.
And the fire destroyed the Flamenco Institute, but the director vows to rebuild it. Investigators are still trying to figure out exactly what started that fire. And that was the first big fire in downtown Albuquerque in 5 years. Remember this, back in 2008, oil-soaked rags caught fire at the Golden West Saloon on Central near 7th, destroying that watering hole that had been there for 80 years. It also did some damage to El Rey in the launch pad.
Some aging main streets across the state are getting a lot of money for a facelift. We're talking $120,000 in grant money from PNM. The projects range from restoring historic theaters to renovating bridges. Deming, Las Vegas, Silver City, Belen, Clayton, Corrales, and Albuquerque stand benefit. Streetlights along Central Avenue in downtown Albuquerque will be upgraded with LED lights. Nob Hill will get some attention too.
It takes more than the state to have a successful Main Street program. Private sector partnerships, like PNM's commitment here today, are vital.
Governor making that announcement yesterday. She says upgrades will also put people to work.
Bernalillo County's investment officer and former treasurer in the white-hot spotlight once again today about some questionable investments. Patrick Padilla is set to explain his investment strategy, respond to critics against it, and expand on the state auditor's findings, all in the county's ongoing investment mess. It's going to be at 10 o'clock this morning downtown. Current treasurer Manny Ortiz has already lost $750,000 of taxpayer money in investments that didn't exactly pan out. Financial experts say Padilla's investment strategy that involves step bonds, well, that is yet another gamble. All right, 6:05, here's a wake-up call for you and you this morning. Just 6 days until Christmas. You know, a lot of us are thinking about a new iPhone, a tablet, a ski trip for the holidays. There are an awful lot of school kids, thousands of them in Albuquerque, who need just the basics. We are talking socks, underwear, and a good pair of shoes.
Yeah, you know, this morning, the Albuquerque Public School District's Community Clothing Bank is trying to do something about that need, but they need your help. News 13's Samantha McDonald is live in the parking lot of APS City Center, where folks can show up and drop off those items. And I see you have Santa Claus right next to you, Sam.
That's right, Elizabeth. I'm here with Santa Claus and Elf. Several people are coming out so far to this undergarment drive. They're dropping off socks, underwear, sports bras, camisoles, and thousands of students are going to benefit from this drive. It's a first for APS. They've had other clothing drives in the past. 3,000 students have gotten clothes. This year, though, APS says more than 60,000 students qualify for free or reduced lunch, so they expect lots of them will benefit from today's drive. And students will get all of the stuff after the new year. So I'm here with Santa and Elf, as I said. Santa, tell me, how's it been so far today, and what's the need like for these kids?
Well, we've had a lot of participation, and we need a lot more. There's a lot of needy kids out here. We really need to help these children and have a good Christmas, and we really want your help. So we want everybody to come out and donate to this drive, and it's benefiting the children.
And do you see the kids looking so much more happy when they have all these things?
When they have new stuff, new clothes, and new socks and all, they really benefit, and they really feel good about themselves, and it just makes more student success.
Well, that's great. This drive will be going on till 8 a.m. this morning. You can drive by. It's very convenient. Back to you, Elizabeth.
All right, Samantha, thank you very much for that. You can also send monetary donations to buy shoes for kids. The address that they'd like you to send that monetary donation is send it to APS Education Foundation. The address, P.O. Box 25740, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The zip 87125.
All right, all the clothes, the socks, the underwear, shoes, and more are going to help a lot of the less fortunate kids in the district. Some of them being kids that are homeless. These are kids who live in their cars, they live in motels or hotels, they live in shelters, they may even live on the street. The APS has this thing called a Title I Homeless Project, helps out a few thousand kids every single year that do not have homes.
Let me tell you, try to do something if you can make a difference.